She was vibrant. She was ambitious. She was full of life. Did you hear me right? She was. Until that night, when she fell prey to the lust of a man who dog-chained her as he raped her mercilessly and reduced her to a living dead. An unimaginable 40 years. That is almost 2/3 of a person's average lifetime she has already spent bedridden in a hospital in Mumbai. Priyanka Sharma is waiting to breathe her last. All is not well, which does not end well, which waits to end, and sometimes doesn't even know that it exists. Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. Save me! I want to live! These were the crying words of yet another female who has been rushed to the hospital recently when she was gang raped in Delhi. As we speak right now, her family is still grieving the loss. In shock and disbelief, was this meant to be the end of their beloved daughter? Raped, and not just raped, raped so in such a barbaric manner that even the medical fraternity was left speechless. The cases of Nirbhaya and Surinali are still fresh in our mind. And these are not isolated instances. In India, a rape happens to 2 women every single hour. And that's as much the time this meeting will take to finish. I am here today to raise some very important questions to you all, and maybe even find answers through you. So let's see. Let's ponder as to why these cases happen. Is it because we do not have a safe and sound public transport system in the country for women? Or is it because we have a skewed sex ratio, men to women? As per the recent census, there are about only 913 females for every 1,000 men in the country, and it is as low as 830 in a state like Haryana. Thanks to the much prevalent female infanticide that exists deep-rooted in our society. In fact, this tragic reality has been very well depicted in a movie much critically acclaimed called Matrubhumi, A Nation Without Women, where the female protagonist is tied to a cowshed, at a post in a cowshed, and she's mercilessly raped by the men in the village night after night. Why? Because there aren't enough women in that village. Are we moving towards such bestiality? Or is the reason male ego, where a still large section of the society in our country, which is basically a patriarchal society, does not take women as equals? The whole idea of women becoming economically stronger, vocal about their needs and independence, and independence hits them. It hits their perceived superiority levels. Or is the reason still bigger? You and me. We are ready to kill and die to protect the women in our family. But we do not. But we barely raise a finger or our voice if a case of molestation happens in front of us. There are thousands such cases which happen in this country every single day. We say as Indians we are emotional, and emotions bind, and they make the fabric of the society. And we take big pride in that. But if that is the case, why are we moving towards being so indifferent as a society? Why is it that Nirbhaya was lying bleeding on the road for 2 long hours without a single piece of cloth on her body, and people like you and me passed by without an inch of empathy or sympathy in our hearts? Rape is a monstrous violation of a female's dignity. And when it's over, it starts. It starts again. It starts again because people like you and me do not let it be over. We rape her repeatedly by putting her through mental agony, by not letting her forget it, by forcing her to lead a life of humiliation and low self-esteem, so much so that sometimes many of them end up committing suicide. There was a huge protest recently in Delhi, in Jantar Mandir, and in front of India Gate. But even while the protests were on, there were 6 rape cases which happened in Delhi within the same very month. So, I believe it is not just one of protests or even a death penalty which can make this change in the society. Let me put a question to you all here. How many of you will ever bring a rape victim after a few years to your home as your prospective wife, daughter-in-law, or sister-in-law? Can I have some hands? Very few. They are few, actually few. This requires a deep-rooted change in our perspective, in our outlook, and in our attitude. Unless that comes, nothing will change in the society. I'm here today to take a pledge, and I want you all to take this pledge in your hearts, that I will be the change in the society, that I will raise my voice against to start with any slightest case of molestation or eve teasing that I will witness in a mall or a bus or a road against women. That I, as a Toastmaster, will not be quiet. That I, as a Toastmaster, will raise my voice against any injustice of this order and let not my voice confine to the 4 walls of this room ever. That I will be the change what I know I can be. Will you?
Yes. Yes.
Toastmasters.